Motormouth Jenkins here, welcoming you to our brand new YouTube channel. Hope that you'll come back and see every segment each and every week, and I will share preventative maintenance tips and regularly scheduled maintenance tips for your car. So whether you know a little bit about your car or absolutely nothing, this is the channel just for you, where I share over 35 years of experience as a qualified and licensed service technician with truck and coach, light truck and passenger vehicles. Come back and visit us and tell your friends, and we'll see you each and every week right here in the Car Connection Workshop on YouTube. Hi, Car Connection fans. Thanks for stopping by, friends. We've got an interesting one for you here today. Something you have not seen yet. This is another repair. I didn't do this, but I will talk my way through it so that you get a better understanding. We're working on, his name is Restoration. I've been working on this since 1959, and it's a 1978. We can't figure that out, so if all of you people who are mathematically brilliant, help us with that, would you? How can we be working on it since 1959 when it's 78? We don't know. Anyways, I bought this quite a few years ago, and it's been a project. And I'll tell you this is the one I talk about on some of our videos. You know what, guys and gals, if you're buying a muscle car or a car of whatever vintage from someone and they've been working on it, it's probably going to be a tougher project than you have starting the project yourself from ground zero. And you're going to get a chance to see that type of repair because we have a 1984 Monte Carlo SS, original SS, last of the muscle cars from the 80s, and it hasn't been messed with. I've been the only one working on that car, and I've taken everything I've taken off is marked, labeled. I know what needs to be done next, and that's going to be a vehicle that's going to be available to our YouTubers. So stick around for that as we grow. That's going to be our first muscle car giveaway. But the beauty of that project is it hasn't been touched. I bought it from the owner, and the car was not framed off, engine pulled out, nothing. I drove it home. I got it started. It was a non-runner. I got it started in the young couple's garage. They were turning the garage into a baby's room. They were expecting, and they were excited, but the husband's Monty had to go, and we got it. I've had it quite a few years. Same with this thing. But this car has been such a pain in the rear because everything, the mechanics, I said mechanics, that worked on, I've had to put my hands back on and make correction. And I'm hoping that this is the last zinger that I have. I've gone through the whole car, wiring, putting the heater back in because they did heater delete. Oh, we don't need that. Pull all the vents out, all the electronics, all the vacuum lines, everything, wire harnesses, and they even fiberglassed the heater box hole closed. It looked really good, but I had to cut it all back open. So I put a heater system back in, and we're going to put the air conditioning back on the way it was born. But anyways, that's where we got to correct this problem so that we can at least drive it. And I'm just about finished on the interior, so once I finish this, the car will be 100% drivable. And all the brakes, I've gone through all of that already. Driveline, brakes, putting the emergency brake system back in because we deleted that too. All of it, nothing, zero. You can't pass a safety in Canada without emergency brakes and also without a heater system. You need to have defrost on the front windshield to be on Ontario highways. Just saying. So we're down to make this correction. Wait till you see this zinger. And then I can finish the wiring inside. I'm ready to put the underpadding in and put the carpet in. I'm going to do sound deadening material first. So we'll bring you in on that when I'm ready. I found some really cool stuff, product. I want this car to be real quiet because they're generally, they drone. All right, so here's what I ran into. You ready for it? Now I can't show you because we have Mr. Green Jeans up top and I've got the hood secured to the hoist so that I can work in here, and this gives me lots of room. The hood does not close, nor will it ever close, because we decided to put a high-rise intake manifold on it. Not me, the mechanics that worked on it. But I guess they didn't have a tape measure because they didn't check to see how high the air breather would be for the hood to close. And this is a factory air breather, and that's what I want to put on. The carburetor is a factory 4-barrel Rochester, and changing the carburetors is not going to make a stitch of difference to the height. Putting a chrome air breather on is cheesy, and I won't do it. But I put one on, and it still won't close. The hood stays open 2 inches. And why is that? Why is that 2 inches, you say? Well, let's talk about this first. Skippy, come on in here and show them this dust pattern right here. See where it is? I did this on purpose because I needed to figure out what was going on. So when the hood is closed, it hits the hood right here. So the hood is laying right on top of here. That's why the hood is 2 inches open and it will not close. Ever. Ever. Yeah. So that then gave me the answer that I was looking for. And no, I'm not cutting the hood open. The car is fully painted. Thank you to my friend Todd, who donated the paint work on this car. It looks really, really nice. They did a wonderful job to restoration. And I'm not cutting the hood open to incorporate some kind of cheesy air breather. No, I want it to look factory. And I got this factory air breather from my friend at, I'll put a plug in for his company, Northern Corvette. Stuart, nice fella. He ships Corvette stuff all over the world, and he has a massive, massive warehouse. So if you're rebuilding any model year of Corvette, get in touch with Northern Corvettes. So I'm just going to set this over here. So these techs decided to put this Edelbroken intake on here. No, they don't sponsor the show. I'm very disappointed with this, but I can't blame Edelbroken for it. It's the tech. And we have a leak here. And the thermostat housing that was on here was one of those cheesy polished kits. You know what, guys? I'm going to tell you straight up. Please don't put that crap on your car. I'll tell you what, because these covers are coming off on this job, and I have some polished aluminum Corvette covers, genuine. They're going on, and I'm going to tell you this right now, why. Chrome valve covers hold heat. That's right. They don't cool very fast. They hold the heat right against your valves. And how did I learn that? I learned that from the gentleman I started my apprenticeship with. He was a drag racer, and he said, you never put any of that chrome junk on your car. Well, this one got the unique, made in offshore, wherever, Taiwan on, or whatever, and we got the chrome timing cover. We have the chrome oil pan, and we have the chrome valve covers, and we had a cheesy chrome thermostat housing that was leaking like crazy up in here. I pulled it off. I put a new gasket in. I put a better gasket in. I even changed the thermostat. I put a Delco thermostat in there, and it still leaked. I took it off again. And I had this GM thermostat housing. This fits 327, 283, 305, and 350. Brand new in a packet, already painted Chevy orange, and made in America, and it's even stamped GM. It leaks. So you know where the problem is? All right, Skippy. I'm going to let you walk a little bit. Come around here. I'll tell you what the problem is. There's only one way I'm going to ever be able to use that on something else, which I probably will, but it's not suited for this, is the thermostat housing is not flat. All you need to do is take a straight edge and see if you can see light underneath there. Well, I can tell you right now, on that intake manifold, this thermostat portion where the stat goes in, that intake manifold does not have this ridge for the thermostat to sit in. This is a factory GM aluminum intake I had kept and wrapped it up in some of my hot rod parts, and this is what's going back on there. This is a factory. Just let them see this right here for all those guys who are curious. It's a genuine GM aluminum intake manifold, and I'm going to put it on this Corvette along with the 4-barrel Rochester. Firing order 184-36572, and it's right there in case you want to know. That's the driver's side 1357246. Odds, evens. So this came off a very old Chevy van I was working on in my shop on the Hamilton Mountain. The intake was blown out at the ends, and when I got in there and I went to pluck this off, I ended up in the back of the van because I expected it to weigh like 50 pounds. The cast iron ones are like 50 pounds. And it plucked off, and I ended up on my back in the back of this van. I'm going, this thing's aluminum. So I phoned the customer, and I said, I have a cast iron intake, glass beaded, painted Chevy orange ready to go, unless you want me to scrape this one down. And he said, you go ahead and have it, Niall. We'd be happy to let you have that. So who knew, like almost 30 years ago, that I'd have this intake fixed up, cleaned up, and put in a bag. I just freshened up the paint, and it's ready to go on, and that's going to solve this problem. Two ways. All right, Skippy, if you can go back over where you was. All right. Hey, thanks. Thanks for coming out. I'm just going to put this away. I'll see you on the other side, and we'll get back to the story. So, so the problem here is this side of this manifold is not sitting flat. And how do I know that without flat edging it? Because it leaks in the same spot with the beautiful polished aluminum thermostat housing, and now with my factory genuine GM thermostat housing and a thicker, better gasket and a GM thermostat still leaks in the same spot. So I can tell you right now that in this area here, that where the thermostat bolts down onto is not a true flat surface. So I had already mopped up the coolant last night because I didn't want it to stain the intake manifold too much, because I'll probably use it on something else, but I'll get that machined first so that we know we have a very true surface. But here's where the big problem comes in. The carburetor might as well be on a high-rise condominium complex, because the top of the carburetor is way too high because they put a high-rise intake manifold on. So the distance here is a tunnel. So it has brought the carburetor up. Let me ask you, all you mathematicians, how high is too high on this? I already gave you the clue. 2 inches. We are 2 to 2 1/4 to 2.5 inches too high. How do you fix that? Well, I got to take this intake manifold off, and I'm going to get rid of these valve covers. If somebody wants them, let me know you want them. You pay the shipping. Hallelujah, you can have them. They're stamped Chevrolet, but I will not put chrome stuff on any engines I have because they look pretty, but they're lousy. So I do have a whole pile of parts I need to put online that I can share with people, but not right yet. But if you really want to have them, you pay the shipping, I'll box them up, and you can have them. I don't want them. I'm going to put, I've got genuine Corvette polished aluminum covers that I polished and I had been saving, and I'm going to put those on. That makes a better fit. So I'm going to have to take the carburetor off, pull the distributor right out of the engine, and pluck the intake manifold off, and I have the replacement, and you can look at it, see if you can show them that one, Skippy, and then show them the top of this, and you can see the difference in height. How much higher up it is from here where my finger is to the top here. And then looking from here down at the bottom up to where the carburetor is about 2.5 inches. So we can't take this thing anywhere because we'll never be able to close the hood, even with the air breather off. So I want to make sure I cover that too for the fellers and fellettes out there who say, well, just take the air breather off. It still won't close. It closes more from this to about that. And with the chrome air breather on, it sits ever so nicely right here in the center with 2 inches. The hood's sticking up 2 inches. So, you know, I did wonder about that when I picked the car up. The hood was not closed. I couldn't get it closed, and I never really thought about it. So in the next segment, I'll let you know how long it's been since I bought this car, and we're finally going to get it out on the road. But it has been, I gotta say, the worst pain in my rear that I've ever had, next to being bit by the little dog that lived next door when I was 9 years old. He was a biter. Wouldn't have anything to do with leaping over the fence into the wrong backyard after school, but yeah, he was a biter. And this car is biting me in my butt exactly like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start stripping this down, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll bring you back once I've got most of the parts off, but the next portion, you don't need to watch me take a carburetor off and take the thermostat off and empty the coolant out. What I want to show you is how to set your distributor and mark it wherever it is. I'm going to pull this out without marking it to top dead center, and I'm going to show you how to do it, because I can pop a distributor out in any position and put it back in the position I took it out from and get the engine running in a heartbeat. So that's the part I want to share with you, is you don't always have to line it up to top dead center. You just have to know how to do the basics, and you can pull this distributor out. I can have this intake manifold off in about 20 minutes and ready to scratch it down and get the old gasket off, ready to put new ones on. So again, if you watch this video and you'd like these chrome valve covers, I'll give them to you if you pay for the shipping, because I don't want them and I won't put them on anything else. So if that's something you want to use, I'd be happy to give them to you. So just let me know who you are. You can visit us on our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. Send me an email through our website form. Let me know who you are, where you are, and I'll find out how much the shipping is and when they're off. And we finish the segment and we're finished, then I'll box them up. You pay the shipping and they're all yours, pal. Have fun. I don't like the chrome stuff whatsoever. I am not that. Knowing the science behind it, I want as much heat away from an engine as possible. I don't want to hold any heat in. I mean, they're pretty. They say Chevrolet, and they'll probably clean up really, really well, but they're not for me. Not for me. So next time, catch us on part 2. I will remove the carburetor, thermostat, empty the coolant, and I'll get ready to take the valve covers off. They'll be ready. I'll leave them on until I get the intake out of the way and I scratch down to put a new gasket on, and then I'll pull the covers so that way it can prevent any crud getting inside the motor. So till next time, thanks for passing by, my friends, to the Car Connection Workshop. Your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, in every segment. And say thank you to Skippy in the comments as well. Thanks, Skippy, on the camera. She's doing a great job, and we appreciate her very much. And like, share, follow, and subscribe. That's right, it's free. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. We do drop new videos into our channel every Tuesday and every Friday. So be a part of our Car Connection YouTube community and put the coffee on. Happy motoring. We're going to come to your house.